Hello and welcome to Upstack America's Oracle ABS Financials Functional Training. My name is Bob and I'm the lead senior consultant for Upstack America. And with me I have Victor, who is also a senior consultant for Upstack America. And today we are covering General Ledger Lesson 10. And Victor, can you please walk us through?
Thank you, Bob, for the introduction, and welcome everybody to our 10th lesson for this Oracle Financials Functional Training. Today, we are going to continue where we left from our last lesson. We are going to continue with the topic of summary accounts and how we can implement this in General Ledger. So far, we have already looked at parent values, and we know what they are and how to create them. We have also looked at roll-up groups, and we have created our roll-up groups that we are going to be using in our own implementation. And now we are going to look at summary account templates, which is, I would say, the penultimate topic before we can actually now create the summary account themselves. So you should, at this point, understand what parent values are, what roll-up groups are, and how they all fall into place as we try to create summary accounts. So let's get into our lesson today. Like I said, we have already looked at roll-up groups and parent values, and we said that summary account templates, which are what Oracle uses to create summary accounts, are created at the roll-up group level. So you cannot create summary account templates without having created your roll-up groups and your parent values before that. So when we say that summary account templates are created by the system at the roll-up group level, what do we mean? First, let's walk back and remember what problem we are trying to solve. Here we are trying to, when you're creating summary accounts, what we are trying to do is look at inquiries, do inquiries and balances at different levels, such as enterprise level or a certain group of companies in our enterprise. So ultimately, this is the goal that we want to achieve. So once you create your roll-up groups, what is the next step that you take? Then you go and create a summary account template. And it is with these summary account templates that you'll be able to achieve the ultimate goal of being able to look at those various levels of balances, or to do those various levels of inquiries. So on this screen is what we have is an example of a template that we are going to create, then from which we are going to or the system is going to create summary account. So let's take a look at this screen. The template that we are going to create is this. RG at this here means roll-up group. So this roll-up group can be whatever that you have created. For us, it's going to be our Mascani Resource Enterprise MRE roll-up group, into which we rolled up our two companies, namely Mascani Property Management and Mascani Developers. These two other letters that you see here, these two Ds, they represent segment options that are provided by the system, which dictate the level of information that is going to be displayed once you create your summary account, or how many summary accounts are going to be created by this template. So what does this D here stands for? Detail, and so does this one. So let's take a look at how this plays out in the actual system using this example. So on this left hand, we have our situation at the moment before we have created the summary accounts. This is the level at which we can do inquiries for every account combination. So I'm using the first three segments here because we are just doing this as an example. You can assume that the rest of the segments, which we have 7 of in our chart of accounts, are default, but I'm using these first three segments as an example. So let's assume that these are the unique combinations that we have already for our implementation. This is the level at which we can do inquiries or create balances for each account, right? So this one might be the cash account for company 1. This is another cash account for company 1, but under division 101. This is another asset account for company 1. We don't know what this is. Maybe this is cash at hand or petty cash. Under division 100. So these are just examples of combinations that we may have for our implementation. So at the moment, we can only do inquiries for a single account at a time, right? But what if we want to check the cash balance maybe for these two companies together, which is what we are trying to do for this summary by creating summary accounts. So using this template where we have a roll-up group for our first segment and then detail and detail for our next two segments, what is going to be the outcome of this template in terms of the summary accounts that are going to be created? So company 1 and company 2 are going to be rolled up into one group like this. And then for these two segments that are labeled both D, detail, Oracle is going to pick all the unique values for that segment, all the unique values that have been used in this segment. So if you look at our combinations here, you will see that we have there's supposed to be 3 unique values. So assume this is 1 instead of 2. There's supposed to be 2 unique values, right? So 1000 and 1001. So if we had if we are using 1002 in actually, I've told you to ignore it. But if we assume that this is also a combination that already exists, it would also be added here as a roll-up group, then 1002, and the appropriate division. So for each detail segment, Oracle will take each unique value that has been used for that segment, then attach it to the roll-up group. The same with this segment, the third segment. So you can see how many unique values we have here. It's only 100 and 101. So Oracle will take every unique value for that segment too. So in the end, what we will have is the total number of summary accounts that will be created will be determined by the number of unique values in each of the detail segments. So, and to get the total number of accounts, we do the number of unique values in this segment multiplied by the number of unique values in this segment. So in our case here, assuming that this is supposed to be 1001 instead of 1002, we expect for there to be 4 accounts 4 summary accounts created by the system, because we have 2 unique values in this segment and 2 unique values in this segment. So 2 by 2 is equals to 4, which is what we have on this end. Okay, now let's look at what each of these summary accounts represent. So this first line represents the sum of this first company here, this first account here, account plus this account here, right? So company 1 and company 2 have been rolled up into one, and then their balances for these 2 combinations will be put together into this one account. Okay, what about the second one? What does it represent? It represents this second line here and this second line here, because we want to roll up company 1 and company 2 into one, and then we can look at the total balances together for those 2 companies under this one account. The same, so the pattern continues for the third line. This third line represents the balance for this company 1 account and this company 2 account put together. And then the last one is for the last 2 lines, assuming that this is supposed to be 1 instead of 2. Now, if we left this here, we would have another line, because this is another unique value. If this was actually supposed to be 1002 instead of 1001, then we would have another line. We would have another line under these summary accounts, because this is also another unique value. All right. Let's go to the second example. In this example, the roll-up group is in the account segment. Okay. So for the first example, the roll-up group was in the company segment, but for this one, it's in the account segment, natural account segment. But the concept is the same. So what is the result of this template, where the first segment is detail, the second segment we use the roll-up group, and then the third segment is also detail. So first, these are the asset accounts, or some of them that we rolled up into this roll-up group, which we called total assets. Okay. So what are we trying to achieve with this template? We want to be able to see the total amount of assets under our asset accounts for different level of detail for the company and for this third segment. All right. So assuming that these are the combinations that exist, that we already have, once we create these templates, what accounts will be created? Once we use this template, what accounts will be created? What summary accounts will be created by the system? First, remember that the total number of accounts created is equals to the product of the unique values in each of the detail segments. So first, let's look at this first bunch of combinations belonging to company 1. We have, that's just one unique value, and this is in this second bunch of combinations belonging to company 2. For the company segment, that's the second unique value, right? So we'll have 2 here for detail, and it's going to be the same for this third segment, right? We have two unique values, 100 and 101. So how many accounts do we expect to be created by Oracle? That's 2 by 2. The product of this by the product of this, that's 4. So that's the amount of new accounts that will be created by Oracle. So what will these new summary accounts look like? We'll have this first one being all assets under company 1 for this division 100, and then we'll have all assets under company 1 for this division 101. All right. So this first line represents this account here and this third account here. All right, put together. This second line, this second summary account, it represents this second one here plus this last one here put together. Okay, when we go to the third summary account, the pattern is the same. There's so many mistakes on this slide, sorry. This third line here should represent this asset account plus this asset account, which both fall under segment division 100 for the third segment. And then here, this should be 2 instead of 1. But this one is supposed to represent this asset account here plus this asset account here. So when you go to Oracle and do an account inquiry against this account, because this is an account that will be created by the system using these templates, you will be able to see the total balances for the constituent account. So for example, if you check do an inquiry against this account, you will be able to see the added activity for this account plus this account here, which is this is the reason why we are creating summary accounts, so that we can be able to do aggregated inquiries against aggregated balances. All right. So I hope those two examples have helped you understand how templates are translated into accounts. So what we do is we create templates, and then Oracle creates the accounts. And once you enter, when you do activity against these constituent accounts, which are used to create the summary accounts, these accounts are also updated. All right. So if this account you said belongs to the first summary account, if you enter activity against this account, because we said you cannot use summary accounts to enter direct activities, right? But once there's activity against this account, the summary account balance is also updated for inquiry and report purposes. All right. So now we know how the templates translate into the accounts, and we know the whole sequence from the beginning, where we create parent values, to roll-up groups, and then to the templates. So now we can go to the system and create these summary account templates, which the system will use to create the summary accounts. So this is the navigation This is the navigation to go to create the summary accounts, the summary account templates, and let's go there right now. Okay, I need to log out. And sign in as the correct user. Say the navigation is set up, account summary, right here. And this is the window that launches once you select that option. All right. So this first field here, we enter the name of that summary account template that we want to create. So the first one that we are going to create is this one right here, where we rolled up the two companies, and we can call it Maskani Enterprise. The ledger will be our Maskani Group US ledger. So once you enter the ledger name, this this window pops up, and in each of these are the segments that we have in our chart of accounts, right? So we have to select a value for each segment. For the options that you have are the roll-up group. You have this detail segment value option, and you have this total. We are not going to focus on this total option for now. So let's just understand how we use the detail and the roll-up value. So we want to roll up the first. For this template, we want to use this roll-up group, Maskani Real Estate. So, okay. For the second segment, we said we are going to use the detail option. So let's use the detail option for all the remaining segments. So what is this template going to do? How many accounts are summary accounts are going to be created by this template? As many as the product of all these, all the unique values in all these detail segments where we've selected the detail option. All right. So you can click OK for that. For the description, you can say Maskani Enterprise template. This earliest period field, it asks you when you want the system to update the balances, from what period you want to update, want Oracle to update the balances for the summary accounts that you're going to create. So the further back in time you go, the more the more resources you're asking the system to commit to this. So you need to decide when you are doing an implementation by consulting with the client, if they have this need, how far back they want to create summary accounts for. So for ours, we are just going, we don't have a lot. We're going to go back to the first period, which was January 18th. Okay. So that's okay. And we can save this. As soon as you save, the status changes to adding. So we can go to the SRS screen and wait for it to finish. Okay. So the add delete program here has finished adding our summary account templates. So we can close this. If you require this by selecting Control F11, you will see that now this status has changed from adding to current. So this template exists and we can use it to do inquiries, all right? So how do you do this? Go to inquiry, then account. You should be familiar with this page because we've used it before. Here you can select the periods you want to do inquiries for. So how do we use our summary account template? Right, this field here. And you should have a list of, you only have one account template created. So it's the only one that will pop up when you select this list button here. So if we select OK, these are the accounts that pop up that have been created. Quite a number. Because these are all because of all the unique values that we have used in data entry. All right. So you can check the balances for each of these summary accounts that have been created. So let's look at this first line, for example. It shows this is the cash account for division 100 and default for all the other values. So what do we expect this summary account balance to contain? It will contain the cash account balances for company 01, cash account 100 default, and company 02, cash account 100 default for all the rest. All right. So let's go there. Show the balance. This is the PTD balance for this summary account for the period of April, and this is the YTD balance. When you select detailed balances, then it will show you the balance for each of the accounts that have been rolled up to that one summary account. So we'll see, for example, that this PTD balance for April for 1,000, this one, it only came from activity from this account for company 2, 1,000. There was no activity under the combination for company 1. But when you check under the summary, you'll only see the aggregated. It doesn't matter whether that activity came just from one of the combinations contained in this summary or from both of them. It will show you the aggregated. Let's look at another line. So you see this is almost the same as the first one, but it has a value under this fourth segment. This is a unique value, so another summary account was created. And those are that is the summary balance, the 0 PTD for the month of April and 0 and 1,000 year-to-date balance for this account. What are the constituents? At the moment, it is only this one containing company 1. Why? Because we probably don't have a combination that exists already under company 2, and with this the same remaining similar remaining values for each segment. But if we enter that combination, if we enter a combination that company 2, account 1000, division 100, department 10, and default, you'll also see it under this summary account. All right. So to understand better, let us go and enter maybe one journal for the period of April under this cash account for company 1 and company 2, and we'll see how the balances change. So let's focus on this first line, and we'll see that that's the PTD balance for April, 1,000, and these are the detailed balances. So we're going to enter a journal, and we'll see how the balances will be affected. So let's enter a journal quickly. New journal, summary account, test. Oh, what did I do? Right. So you want to enter for company 1, the cash account, division 100. All the others are default. Okay. Let's do a debit of 100. So cash is increasing. So let's say this was some revenue and commercial sales. Okay. Division 100. To default for everything else. $100. Let's also do a line for company 2. So cash, uh, 100, 00. Let's do a 50 here. Let's do, I believe we have some cross-validation values for this, so let's pick the correct account. Let's do management fees for company 2, same division. 50. So when we post this journal, we are focusing on these two cash accounts, this one for company 1 and this one for company 2. The account for this is going to increase by 100 and this account is going to increase by 50. So we expect that our summary account, if for that contains these two accounts, the balance, the PTD, which was 1,000 when we last checked, will have increased by 150 because these two constituent accounts, they fall under that summary account, right? So let's post this. Let's quickly go to the inquiries page. Hopefully by the time we get there, let's take a quick look at the SRS page. It's not yet posted. Unless it's been posted, we can't check the balances. All right, that's done. So we can use our template, Maskani Enterprise. Okay, so this is the summary account that we're interested in. Let's show the balances for April, and true to the course, the PTD balance for April has gone up by 150. And we can see for where that came from. It's because company 1, there was 100 which we did. And remember, company 2 already had 1,000, but we did another 50. Did another 50 for April, so it went up by 50. So the total was 150. So that's what summary accounts help us to do. They help us to see balances at an aggregated level. So I believe we have understood that. So what we are going to quickly do is implement this second template, right? So remember, the navigation was setup, accounts, summary. If you do control F11, you should see all the templates that you have at that moment. So let's add a new one, and we'll call it Maskani Total Assets. The ledger is Maskani. So what do we want to do for this one? We want detail for all the other segments, but we are going to use the roll-up group total assets that we created, which contains all the asset accounts, okay, that we created, and we're going to use it for the natural account segment. So let's use detail there. When you select this natural account segment, you should be able to see the roll-up group for that segment. Remember, we create roll-up groups per segment or per value set. So you won't see the roll-up group for total assets in this field for company or for division. So let's do the detail for all these other segments and select OK. Maskani total assets. Let's stick to January. So that's our second template. We can save it. Oracle is adding. So as that happens, let's refresh and remind ourselves what you expect to see. This is what the result we expect to see. For there are going to be two unique values, of course, for this first segment, and then this second segment is going to show us the total assets that have been used, the total value of assets for that unique combination that is going to be created for the summary account, depending on the unique values for all the other segments that are contained in our chart of accounts. Okay. See whether all right. So it has been completed too. So we can go to the account inquiries page and use our second template. So you see now we have a list that's popping up. Let's use this is what we want to use. Let's select OK so that all the accounts will be. So these are all the accounts that have been created by Oracle from using our total asset template. So you'll see this first account, summary account, this one right here shows company one, then add up total assets, then for division 100 and default for all the others. This one is company one, total assets, division 100, department 10 and default, like that. So these are all the unique values for each segment. So the summary accounts are being created to according to that. So let's look at the balances for the first summary account. That's the summary balance, which means all the unique asset accounts here for company one and division 100 and default for all the rest. So cash, receivables, all those asset accounts for this particular combination, the period to date balance or the activity for the period of April is just 100. So let's look where that activity is coming from. That activity is only coming from this particular asset account, company one, cash, division 100, default, and this might be actually the journal that we just entered a few minutes ago. So this is the only other existing asset account that has been used for this particular combination. So we can go and enter a journal just like we did so that we can see how the balances will be affected. So we can enter a journal that affects other asset accounts for company one and division 100, and let's see how that affects this balance. All right, you should have an idea in your head by now how that will turn out, but let's do it just so that we drill in this idea. So we are going to call this summary account test 2. So for this line, company 1, we have any asset accounts that we can use? So we can, let's use this property sales receivables because it falls in that total asset range. Okay, and we haven't used it before. The division has to be 100. Okay. So let's debit this for 50 of 100. So company 1, we can make this revenue. Let's do commercial sales. Okay. Division 100. 0. Okay. So we were doing total assets for company 1. Let's do another asset account. For company 1, we can do, we've done property sales. Let's just do fixed assets. Okay, let's do 50. Some really cheap stuff here. So 001. Fixed assets. Let's just do generic sales and revenue. So when we post this, what we expect? We expect that the balance for that summary account that was created for, that contains all the asset accounts for company 1 and division 100. We expect that the balance will go up by 150, both for the PTD for April and the YTD. So let's post this. Let's go to our account inquiries page. Let me collapse this so we don't get lost. So inquiry account. So let's take a look whether the posting is not yet complete. Give it a few moments. So the posting is complete. Let's go and see what happens. All right, let's go and see what happens. This is the template that we are using. Do all accounts. So we are focused on this summary account here. Now remember, when we last checked, this PTD balance was 100, but now it's gone to 250. Why? Let's do detailed balances. because of the extra 150 activity that was done under this account and the extra account activity that was done under this account. Also remember that these two combinations did not exist when we last checked the balance. But now, after we've used them, and since they automatically fall within the range, let me say, the range of accounts that are contained in this total assets roll-up group. This is an asset. This is an asset account. This 1241. This is also an asset natural account. Let me call them that, natural account, right? So since they fall in here, the balance has been updated after we posted that journal, and now we can see all the accounts that are affecting the summary balances here. And you can also see the balance at an aggregate level, right? So you can play around with, you can create more templates in your own for your own chart of accounts or for your own implementation that you're using to practice. But that is what summary accounts enable us to do, and that is how we go about creating them. So let's go back to our slides as we conclude. So we have done both templates, and Oracle has created the accounts that result from those templates. So as we conclude, these are a few pointers or for emphasis. Summary accounts are created with existing combinations, and we have seen how that plays out in the system, where we posted a journal with two combinations that we had not used before, but we saw how the system updated those balances and also updated the balance of the summary account after we had used those combinations. So summary accounts are created with existing combinations, and once new ones are entered, the balances are updated accordingly. And that is the point of the second statement. The balances are updated as the combinations are updated. So that concludes our topic of summary accounts. And unless Bob, you have something to add, we should be good for this lesson.
I think I'm good. Thank you so much, Victor.
Thank you.